something, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good round.
Yeah. We're back up here. We're live with all the filmmakers. Yeah, I was just saying, I would put Holden in that range of like, just like, I mean, when you went up against For the Lonely, the Shelter and Lace film, you were the first person after that film ended that just was like, congratulations on winning.
Yeah,
because it was such a strong submission, which is of course totally fair. But I just thought, I mean, you have such a good attitude, I think, about this whole process, and it really you're such an asset for that reason. Oh, Jason's here. What? Oh, huh? It said Jason, and then I see Dana first, and that's unsettling.
Jason, Dana.
Damn.
Yeah, so if Jason enters anything, goodbye, best actor.
This is Jason's first W as a best actor.
Wait, can I say also though that Holden and also everybody, I wrote all of my feedback to you during the judging stream of consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So take that as it will. But I think a lot of yours, I just think a lot of Holden's was like, Holden, are you joking right now? I have chills. Are you joking? This is amazing. It's a lot of that.
Honestly, I was really excited to just I'm looking forward to putting the feedback together for this round. Like, this was so much fun.
I think the feedback for me is like it's one of the reasons I keep coming back. I just love the feedback. It's because you enter some of these things and like you get nothing. You're just like, okay, was it this? Was it this? And like there's no room for improvement because you don't know what. Yeah.
I don't know what, that's I don't understand it, honestly. Like, how are you gonna? But this was so much fun. We got some great filmmakers here. It looks like we got all of Snub This in the house, except if Chelsea's in the background. Is she back there behind you, Jason?
Feeding Hamlet right now.
Yeah, make sure Hamlet comes in too, please. I'm gonna make so many dozens of dollars on the back of selling Hammy shirts and stuff like that, buddy. I'm gonna have to bring Hamlet like a big bone to thank him at some point.
Actually, you're just gonna have to give him royalties.
Oh, Hamlet royalties?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Because because he's Prince?
Well, Hamlet's like a notoriously chill character, canonically.
Oh, he's not your creation there, Jeremy Wessler.
I didn't make Hamlet? No, I didn't make Hamlet, but
Jeremy Wessler, damn you. You killed Luke Harper.
Killed Luke Harper.
And we had to watch a play within a play, or like a film.
This was
newsy up there, buddy.
This was a ton of fun. What are you talking about?
If you haven't seen the news,
okay, I'll take a look.
Wrestling news: Luke Harper is no more.
What? On the Earth?
Passed away.
Oh man, that's sad.
Lung disease, I guess.
That's tragic.
Not
up, man.
COVID.
Thanks for telling me.
Not COVID.
I don't know.
I'm really sure that before I made a Chris Benoit joke.
Yeah. No, that was dark. Thanks for darkening that fucking doorway with that one, buddy.
Oh, hey, buddy. We gotta,
It's the doorway of 2021.
Yes.
Hey, light.
I saw that as the film stream was going on. I'm like, oh.
He was sad. Chris Benoit.
Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Lacey, Pamela, how did it feel to go from being allies to adversaries?
I thought we were still partners because we were just in the same town.
Yeah, it was a happy coincidence that our team got matched up with Snub This. I was like, cool, I'll be working with my old teammates again.
Hi.
When Twitch was still on there, Annabelle goes, and then I was going to let her talk, but I realized that neither of my kids have shirts on, and it's,
Yeah.
And one of them's making a basket into a bed.
I mean, to be fair, if I didn't have to be visible, I would have.
I get it, same. I'm short too.
Can we shout out that Chad's name on the thing is employee?
Wait, do we have the director on the line as
That's
well,
right.
not just the actor?
Let's let our champs talk for a second. What's up, champs?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear us okay?
Not terribly well, but not bad. Oh my god, I just realized what. Is that your pube wig, Jason? What are you doing?
That's Rat Tail Randy for you.
Classic Rat Tail Randy.
He needs the sunglasses.
All right, eFilms Pro, second entry, first W. You're batting 500. Congratulations, honestly, amazing work. Really a great submission.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think we're still kind of in shock, honestly, because everybody's films were so awesome. And like, everybody always says that shit, but like for real, that's how we really feel watching these where I'm like, oh, this one's my favorite. Oh, I love that character. And, just our little movie that we set out to make. We're really excited.
They were all really good, and we all got in fights in judging.
It was like a lot of discussion on every one of these awards, like top to bottom. Absolutely, it was tough. This was it was a tough round. There was a lot of it was really close. There was a real clump of 4 films that we were deciding between.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, again, just kind of pulling the people together was probably the hardest part. Like in this one, I really came in as kind of, I guess, more of the producing role and acting, because when I was in front of the camera, I had to direct basically.
You mean you got to have her directing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of controlling anyway, so I end up directing.
Yeah.
Jump in there. But yeah, and normally, like every film we've ever made, we've had like a DP and an editor, and we always get fucked over in some way. So this time we're like, we're gonna just edit it. I'm sure I can figure it out.
It's homegrown.
And we did. And also I had no idea. I was just like going along, and Chad was like, oh, the deadline's been extended. And I was like, great, I have so much time. And I thought that it meant like 3 a.m. like after Monday had occurred. Doing 20 minutes. What do you want from me? And I was like, oh,
yeah, I was in there trying to polish everything up.
I'm like, put in something about the cat.
Plenty of time. Yeah. And I'm like, no, dude, I got to do this now.
No.
Awesome.
That was so great.
But it was cool. I mean, we really loved the collaborative aspect of this was really unique, because we've done film festivals and competitions and stuff like that before. And again, it's always just been really hard for us to find crew people that really want to do this stuff as much as we do, and that enjoy it, whether they have the experience or not. Because we like showing people things and we like learning things ourselves. He threw in the whole collaborative aspect of it. I was like, wow, we've never done one like this before. This is really cool. And, it was really cool talking to Dina, who is definitely
what a trip.
A character, and trying to put anything, together with her. And like, she called me on the phone and was talking to me and was like, oh yeah, I could do this and all of this. And I'm like, you figure out what you like to do and we will definitely work with that.
I love her.
And because I threw some ideas out at her, and she was like, oh yeah, and I can do this and that. And I mean, she was completely open to everything.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. And, she's fairly new to some of the programs and stuff. So, I mean, I was trying to help her, with some of her narrative stuff and work out some things. And Holden was really the guy that kind of organized our Zoom calls and stuff like that. And, we're all busy. He's 3 hours behind us. So just crazy, but
yeah, the collaboration on both of them was just so excellent. You guys did such great work.
Well,
hi, Chelsea.
This is like a behind the scenes thing, but my favorite bit of collaboration was seeing like Dina just like reply all to like everybody that was participating, being like, I don't know how to work my film sprint.
How does my computer
software?
go?
And Holden was like, hey, I looked it up. Here's some good resources. Here's some advice. Like that to me, I like.
Holden, we were just hyping up you helping Dina.
Yeah, when I read that email and I was like, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
One of the things that was a real.
Back there?
That's Bark Ruffalo.
The myth.
Bark Ruffalo right
slash K999. I just, I mean, that was kind of a goal that we had in a sort of abstract way at the beginning of the year, was to kind of develop the whole enterprise out into more of just a big thing that people could enjoy, and a sort of amorphous community where people would make their own connections organically, and to see I'll just like do that, to see teams team up, that hadn't worked together before, and see new kind of, or folks splinter off and try their own thing like Holden. It's just such a, it's such a those contributions are so welcome, and so exciting to build up the community. Of course, now we're streaming with absolutely no issues, so we've been keeping it at a nice high rate this whole time.
I didn't see one thing wrong with that sprint. That was just the most crisp quality sprint I ever seen.
The whole thing will be up in 1080p in the morning, so I'll make sure that y'all can see that. And I hope you guys are even just a little bit as proud of it as I am, because I just think it's just really great stuff.
We should find another film festival and submit the whole thing.
Honestly, I love that idea.
Right.
If we win, we'll split all the money along these same proportions. Actually, hey, I'll let everybody know what their prize money is, because I got it written down here. Dina, who is not in this call, is looking at a crisp $50 bill coming her way. We got the good folks of Snub This. Y'all are taking some of the community award, and then Jason's getting $75 for a total of $100 coming your way. Shelter and Lace and 411, you're both getting $175 to reflect your award win plus your $25 collaboration bonus. And eFilms Pro, stacked paper to the ceiling tonight. They'll be taking home, if my math is correct, $750 in prize money. Congratulations to y'all. You fucking killed it.
I'm not good at math, so I had no idea.
We were like,
go.
$4.
Yes. Get yourself some pizza and root beer.
And just so you guys know and are clear on this, like,
with a pizza party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on, I want to make sure that one of the executive producers Venmos the company real quick.
If that happens, then. And shout out to Deming, our main backer, and the reason we get to give away so much great prize money to all you guys at this point. We're still trying to alleviate that through getting some more sponsorships and business partnerships and stuff like that. Obviously, not everybody's got a lot of scratch to throw at the old amateur filmmaking competition prize pool. So, Deming, you're amazing, and
I'm just like, here's money, make me a film sprint.
It was true, like you said. We had a conversation. I remember we had a conversation about, like, you said you had originally referred to it as an investment, and I was like, well, how would you like that investment to bear fruit? And you were like, honestly, I just want a bunch of movies. Like, you just were happy with the outcome being that movies got made. So you're.
I'm really happy, you guys. Thanks for the ROI.
Happy. Guys, this was so good, and like I was nervous about the day before this, especially. Dina was the one who was.
Which part were you nervous about, Jeremy? Was it every day?
The whole thing. Dina was bucking for extra time from like the middle of the event. And so when I heard from multiple other filmmakers, other teams, that like, boy, getting till Sunday would be great, and then I reached out to whoever was left, and everybody was like, yeah, that sounds great. I was nervous at that point, like it felt like, disaster might be coming. This is not a great feeling. And then to see how everybody's turned out, and the quality of all the submissions is so strong. Like really top to bottom. I'm still gonna take that footage that y'all sent and make a Bark Ruffalo campaign ad. Don't even worry about that. I may end up including some clips from the other films that Hamlet's been in as well. Like, so he could be like, as a former robot and elderly companion, I worked hard for the people of Nellenville. Really just like amazing stuff. So much fun. I love the little connections between these. Anybody else have any thoughts, questions, comments, things they want to weigh in on before we move on with
our
lives.
Do we have rights to use other films that have been in this in the past? Because that was something I contemplated. I wanted to watch a movie with myself, like watching a film sprint.
So one other rule that I haven't actually announced, but will be moving into play in 2021, is that all the filmmakers will have access to use all of the previous film sprint films and treat any or all of them as canon in their own film. So if you want to expand the universe of somebody else's work, we will encourage
I want to watch
that.
the third Holden, like Holden's id.
Watching ourselves on TV.
We Holden's childhood memory as him as a little kid.
Holden's repressed trauma is like stuck in a bag somewhere.
I should have made that reflection shot more obvious.
He's like, do y'all remember the SNL sketch that was like, I shouldn't keep Mr. Belvedere in a jar in the basement or whatever? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Never mind.
How old are you?
He's good. Yeah, we're young.
I'm 33, but I read at a 45-year-old level.
Oh.
We're gonna have. I'm really excited about the stuff we're gonna do moving forward. I'd like, aspirationally, I want to get us enough like online storage that we can put all the films up, so y'all can just have access to the actual videos if you want to goof around with them. Those rights will only extend to use for film sprint submissions. Like, you can't just have them for everything.
Unless you want to talk to the person in charge of the money.
Yeah, if you talk to the money person, they say it's cool, then I guess. One thing I want to make sure that we talk about moving forward is like, we'll have a little bit clearer communication around, the use of music and things like that. There was a couple of stumblies getting out of the blocks on this round, but this was such a fun one and a great way to close the year. I mean, we literally just like at the start of the year had no plan, had no broad idea of where it was going.
It wasn't so much a we either.
I mean, it was me mostly. It was me deciding to do this, and then I, after a couple of weeks, called Deming and was like, "Can I talk through this process with you? I just want somebody to bounce these ideas off of," and you graciously gave me some time.
I was like, let me put like a weekly on our calendars. We're going to sync up. I'm going to tell you what's wrong.
I was so grateful. I remember when you told me that you would be willing to take on social media, I almost just wept. I was so grateful.
It was really funny.
That I was like, yes, please, oh my God, please. I'm terrible at this. This is not my forte. I want to just make the stuff. I don't want to make the stuff and make the posts and do the promotion and all that. And now that you've like started it out and established a style for us, like I can step in and make a film sprint post every now and then. And I dare say they're not. I mean, it feels like my stuff's still distinguishable. Not clearly. Wow, this guy sucks at this. I'm really enjoying God Eats Bagels continuously commenting on the status of my hair throughout this broadcast. He's still talking about it in the Twitch comments. This one was, when we anyway, like we started, Deming just had some thoughts about film. I had talked to her about film sprint stuff when last time I saw you, which was like last fall, 2019. We hung out. We talked about doing the Fright Sprint. That was a pitch you already had. You were excited. You were interested. You wanted to be a big part of it. I was like, we'll totally co-promote it. We'll do it in a big way, but I still thought it was going to be locally based. I didn't think I hadn't even occurred to me to do it online. And so to not just, all right, I'll tell you what, God Eats Bagels, we're going to make a nice quiz later about figuring out whose posts are whose. That'll be a trivia night that nobody wants to attend.
Spoiler alert. Oops.
Yeah, if they have boobs, they're probably Deming's social media posts. No, I meant on the Film Sprint page. Obviously, Deming social media posts are very discernible. There's usually blood capsules if it's a Deming post. But yeah, to just have kind of followed the path that was in front of us for this, which is seemingly a huge way to be successful in the Film Sprint. I found that, the teams that are willing to are able to kind of roll with the punches and improvise, like, have great, like, I thought Snub This's film was incredible this round, and it was almost entirely improvised. No, was that not what I heard about, Charles? Was it not mostly, if not entirely? We don't write a
single fucking thing. We improv every single bit of that film. I've improv every single film I've ever done. That won't change.
That's my favorite way to work, Dana.
Well, we had like mad like Linklater energy, which if we were there for trivia, That's my favorite.
That big Dick Linklater energy.
Yeah, I'm not into romantic films. I think they're lies.
That's true. That's what makes them so nice. That's why you have to watch them drunk.
Not like those true ass superhero movies.
I've lost count of how many times I've yelled horseshit at the screen.
Well, I mean, you guys did try the boldest of rom-com tropes, which was like two friends.
Two friends realizing they're still two friends.
Two friends.
So, can I ask I mean, I know Holden, what were, and you guys, because there was
they
like a
cannot
whole.
see what pictures you're pointing to.
Yeah, it's true.
That's okay.
But there's a whole inner like weaving of stuff with, I guess, Lacey, Dana, and Jason.
Yeah.
You guys made other films as well, right? Or no? Or did you all just do the one movie?
I've done my own for every single film except for this one.
Okay.
Dana and I just did the last 2 sprints. I hadn't been able to do any of the other sprints. I've just known Dana for 15 years, and we've done other films together that were just for fun.
Y'all's real pictures of yourselves as kids was an amazing touch. So good.
We realized we never take pictures together because one of us is always holding a camera. And so
that's even cuter though.
Mm-hmm.
We have no pictures together because we're always
Speaking of
each other. Are you joking?
Speaking of late advocacy, Dana, I remember like a day before we were done. Not even day, it was like the day of the deadline. Deming, I remember I told you this, but Dana texted me asking if it would be cool if we could make all the films 15 minutes instead of 10. And I was like, I love the idea of these all being 15-minute long films, but I didn't think it was fair to the teams who maybe aimed for 8 or 9 and had gotten there to be like, it would have been cool if you had 6 more minutes. You know, that felt a little... But I'd love to see again, and you know I welcome this. I want all your extended director's cuts. Holden started that tradition for us.
Oh, well, you won't get mine. There's no reason for it. You've already seen the story. There's nothing more to learn.
Oh,
I mean, I thought you guys, it was so tight how you did it.
My monologue. Come on.
I accepted the 10-minute hard deadline. I just thought if every film was, well, I mean, since we only had 5 teams, if every film was 15 minutes, then you'd have your traditional hour and a half comedy.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I'm definitely going to implement, and this is another thing we're going to implement going forward, which is if any filmmaker before the start of a round can get unanimous consent on a rule change from all the filmmakers, we'll incorporate it. If one person can get all the
48-hour film,
it'll depend.
We're
not gonna change the whole
Dana
time frame.
The next film that has to be anything but clothes. You have to wear anything but clothes.
The next film is not 48 hours.
We're not doing anything but clothes round, Jason. I still have veto power over this. It's not universal. Don't get it twisted. I will veto dumb ideas. But it's like I'm just not going to
48 hours, 48 days.
Take away your
if we start with a certain rule set,
we're going to draw rocks.
Everybody wants to change it. I'll have a discussion, but I'm not going to disadvantage a team because 4 out of 7 teams would rather do it a different way. That's not really fair.
Well, then if you want to play it that way, then I will convince every team to not turn in their films on time. And then what do you got?
What did I just say about his stance in like?
Have you heard of the prisoner's dilemma, Dana? I don't think it's going to work out for you. Somebody's going to want that $1,000.
Yeah,
buddy.
one asshole's going to turn it in.
You've taken a hard left down at the cul-de-sac, and I don't want to be here.
All right, we're going to step back out of the cul-de-sac. I may withdraw that ruling based on my big financial backers' severe disagreement with this choice. Honestly, though, I mean, like, it truly is just like we try to reflect y'all's interest and wants in all the ways we can find. Oh, look at Hamlet just being adorable. It was like the most fun to figure out a way to make an Obama poster of that. I started that project at 1:30 this afternoon. Deming and I hopped on our call at 3. So
yeah, Jim,
what
was your process like going through the films and like weaving it together? Because I know that you have to kind of create a story or a narrative in your head out of be made. So Like, what were your thoughts?
I'll give a shout out to Pamela for being a little bit of a sounding board during this process. But ultimately, like, the goal was from the outset, by giving y'all this structure and giving y'all the specific, like giving y'all act breaks and shared elements and everything. The idea was that we were gonna give all the teams enough to set you up so that when they were done, there'd be enough common points to connect the stories that we could figure out a way. This would have been a really challenging project if 10 teams had submitted. It would have been a real thing to try to get it all set up that way. But ultimately, it didn't need to be done that way. So, I mean, from the start, it just came down to kind of going through and then cutting them into sections based on where we felt like act breaks were, or different just moments where the narrative stopped. We tried to preserve scenes that felt like they belonged contiguously, like all the montages were a great example of that. We wanted to make sure that those montages all stayed kind of clumped. And it was, it was pretty spectacular. So we'll definitely continue doing that.
Can I speak to that a little bit?
What?
Can I speak to it a little bit?
Please, yeah, definitely. I'm going to take a moment.
Okay. I was just going to say that I think that the most challenging part that I found in it was just creating the natural transitions between all of the scenes. But I think it came together really well in the end.
I think so too. I mean, I thought the assembly was...
You guys did Letters from Nowhere, right? Or
Yeah. I did. I was a writer on that, and then I did the voice of the love interest of Reese.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that was probably her favorite. I think she liked that one more than ours. So
it was. I was like, actually, over everything I type in the chat, I actually say out loud, much to the enjoyment of Chad. And so I was, oh my God, so cute. I love it so much. And I was like, okay. But it was so cute. It was really cute. And I absolutely love like that aspect, that technical aspect of like moving sound over other sounds, and just
that was incredible.
Time. That was really great. I loved that.
I thought your team incorporated the I'm right here on the pizza box.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
There's your winner right there. There's your winner. It's right over there.
Yeah, that was our Love Actually moment, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was hoping people had actually seen Love Actually.
It works.
I was jumping for joy actually at that scene. I was like, "Oh, they did it! They did it!" That honestly, during the film, I voted for you too. So it was so good.
I thought it was so great. I love that everybody, like, so many teams voted for somebody else. I loved when the teams voted for themselves. I thought that was excellent. I also thought everybody had a case to vote for themselves too. Because I think you all did such a good job of executing your own visions of what like a romantic comedy story can or should be, that it just really was outstanding top to bottom. So I have nothing to say but just a million praises for everybody at all times. You guys crushed it. Now
who's the Paula Abdul?
I'm the Paula Abdul today. It's like if Paul Hollywood's giving everybody handshakes. That's not, but that's me right now.
When he did that, it was so embarrassing.
Ugh, it's like, geez, keep your hand in your pocket, buddy.
Yeah, could you guys hurry up and find your Simon already?
Who's our Simon? Oh, it's Jim.
Yeah, find your Simon.
Jim's our Simon. He's the bigger guy when we do the judge feedback, who's like, I didn't like it. That's Jim.
I just don't like the sound of children.
That's not a direct quote. Like, I just don't like children in movies. Like, he was so against the nibbling. Oh, that guy's a straight up Ranch. I mean, he's a sweet man.
When I moved to Georgia, he's a gentle soul. I love him so much.
Holden, can I ask you a question? Do you guys mind if I ask Holden something?
Of course, that's what we're here for.
What was it? You know, like again, I kind of knew your story because you did send us a copy of the script and kind of layout and everything. But was your choice to play yourself? Was that more driven because you just didn't have another actor, or was that because you just felt like you playing that role or having that, like, well, what came first? Not having an actor, or just coming up with that narrative too?
I think it was actually all three. So I think when this first came up, it was, I just loved the idea. I was like, well, what if someone just falls in love with themselves? And me being a Gemini, I've got two sides where I've got my professional side, and then I'm literally that guy when I go to like sports games where it's like, yeah, Mad Bum, let's do this. And I'm like super excited about it, but I can also clean up really nicely. So I like that. But then as the film sprint came closer to being, California's COVID cases were going on the rise. And so I didn't want to put any of the people that had lined up to be actors in any danger. So it was, well, this is what we're going to go for. And I'll just play. And we had somebody else that was going to play that role. But I didn't want to put anybody in danger. So I just said, you know what? It was me and Ramsey, and we just went out and like shot it in one day. And then I did all the interior scenes myself, which took 10 times as long because I'd like line it up, sit down. But it was, it all just kind of happened naturally. So,
because I'm a Gemini is the best tagline for that.
Because I'm a Gemini.
It's because Saturn and Jupiter are aligned together. That's why I did this.
That's right.
That made me so happy. Sorry, just out of here, because it's so real. And I think that's what a lot of like modern like neo rom-coms are getting at too, is like it's really about the relationship with yourself, but you just made that, you made this text. I loved it.
And I was inspired by there was a lot of, I think when I was talking to people about it, they're like, wait, people are going to know that you're playing yourself? I was like, well, you obviously haven't seen this because Jason plays multiple characters. And so I'm way ahead of you, Jeremy and Deming, on the cinematic universe. So
let's go.
He's playing 4D chess.
I know.
He's playing Cubert. We're over here playing checkers.
That's right.
Checkers.
Was this Rat Tail Randy's first appearance in a film sprint?
This is the beginning of the Rat Tail Randy canon, but it will not be the end.
I have more wigs too.
I mean, only if you think of time as being linear.
But you only got the thing is, Danny, Jason, you got to make sure that one wig is like, you got to put it in a glass case or something.
I hope you keep them separate.
That like epic copper merkin. You got to make sure that's in a safe place.
They're a kit. It's a kit. They came together.
It's gonna be like a rat king. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and oh look, it's the pubes.
Oh, the pubes.
That's large.
That's like a Tina Turner hair.
That's bigger than I expected.
I really
thought it's a lion costume for Mark Ruffalo. It's a lion costume, actually.
Oh, don't put it on his head now.
I can tell you this. I can tell you that Rat Tail Randy will return, and it might be in his own film called The Ballad of Randall Wallace, and it might be a Western.
Oh.
Who's to say?
I hope that he sings.
My heart is full.
I don't know. This might happen. This is not guaranteed. This might happen.
Like, was that David Cross?
Well, I just joked. Thanks.
Oh.
I did an actual spit take at that. Thank you, Dana.
You did it.
Welcome.
I want it to be. Can this somehow, if we could find a way for this to also take place in the Eric Ludwig universe, I'd die of happiness.
I'm sorry, did he not? Did he stutter when he said Western?
The Eric Ludwig. What? It's like remember that Parks and Rec thing where Patton Oswalt pitches like his Star Wars sequel for like 8 minutes? That's what I want from Jason moving forward.
And then it came true because it was all about how Star Wars meets Marvel.
Yeah, I want him to basically find the Infinity Stones of Rat Tail Randy's. Like, I'd like to think that he'd keep them on 5 separate rings.
Infinity Merkin.
Infinity Merkin.
The moonshine ring.
There are different brothels
5
you have to
costume
visit.
rings. And at that store in Occidental.
Yeah, well, that's a teaser, and we'll see if it happens or not. But
I'm teased.
I'm teased. Dana was also pushing really hard for a feature-length film sprint round that would be like take place over the course of months.
Well, Sean Pettis is really the one who's pushing for it, but.
Well, that's interesting because Sean didn't call me and Dana did. So.
Well, because we talk wrestling a lot.
Oh, is that what it was? Well, teach Sean about wrestling so that he can pitch these ideas to me. Honestly, though, like, it's a really bold idea. I'm not sure that we're there yet. But I do know that when we do it, that I know what the prize is going to be. Because I pitched this to Debbie and she thumbs upped it. The prize, if we ever do a real full-length, feature-length movie film sprint, will be that we will pay for a screening of your film in a real theater.
Yeah.
Plaza. Boom.
That's
right there.
That's what I see, honey. See, that's why I'm vouching for you, because like if you win, we'll get it somewhere good.
Yes.
And it'll be much easier for the secondary prize is that you get celebrity cameos by Jeremy and me, and it'll be much easier to live right around the
Celebrity is a real loose word there, I'd say.
Yeah,
how about we switch it to like Netflix or HBO or Hulu?
I think it's pronounced Hubbo.
Hula.
Amazon.
Apple TV.
Oh, here's a fun fact. My family. This is not related to the post. My family did a little like Secret Santa gift exchange thing where you sign up like via the internet to be given a person at random, and you get to like suggest what gifts you might like to receive. So I put on like I want a green screen. Send me just a cheap fabric green screen that I can hang from some of these lighting stands and then it'll step my game up a little. And I get this package in the mail, and it feels like a bundle of fabric, wrapped up. And I'm like, perfect. This is great. This is awesome. I can't wait. We don't have to open them till the 20th of December, but I'll have time. I can maybe figure out a way to incorporate it into the screening for Sprint Action here. I don't know. I hadn't thought of it yet. So we get to the 20th, and it's and I open it, and I'm not saying this in a disparaging way because I am happy to own it, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's a camping hammock. Like a hammock you got to hang between 2 trees.
Is it green?
You didn't incorporate that?
Well, I mean, I could, I suppose, just hang a hammock in here and just like give
Are you not broadcasting from that hammock right now?
I should sit in it and do a Rat Tail Randy impression the whole time, like, oh, hey, guys. Really excited to host the film sprint.
Rat Tail Randy here in my hammock.
When he's just like slowly thrusting and the wig is like flopping around, it is Jeff's kiss. Thank you, Demi.
Weird thing you guys were talking about.
What? Us?
All I came back on was there was thrusting.
Oh,
there's always thrusting.
Very possible.
Welcome to the film sprint.
That's what we're about. People getting thrusted at or away from.
Rusty.
You know what? I want to shout out some connections here. I loved. Not only did we get the Fright Sprint shout out from Snub This in Don't Wake Grandpa, but also that y'all were watching Rising Ember at the end of your film. No, that was so.
Chilling.
It's funny to me that Pam's
chilling.
only appearance
I
visually
actually kind of made a mini cameo in their film. I like that I was seen in their film, but not in my film.
Yes. I thought that was fabulous. And I loved the choice. I thought it was so cute that y'all were just like snuggled up, little side saddle snuggles. Amazing.
Well, there was commentary for that, but that's in the director's cut that will never be seen.
Make it! Was there a discussion among your team? Because, I'm curious if any of the teams, because I know I pitched this to Holden, and I'm not mad that he didn't do it. I'm just disappointed. But was there a discussion among any of the other teams about, like, showing physical affection in your films, like kissing or, second base, like whatever you guys were trying to do? Like, there wasn't. None of these
I'm always trying to get boobs.
Jay is a baby.
Jay is a baby. Okay,
I've known her since I found her at church.
Petting your own bush is pretty
Known her since she came out. There was going to be none of that.
Crazy. Fair enough. But I mean, it was interesting. I mean, you definitely got your request in from Randy. She's so game. She's like and it's so funny to me that she just came out of the blue into your team.
Yeah, like we've known her forever. Not an actress. She's cute with big boobs.
Yeah.
And we pulled her in, and she just happened to be good.
And she's like just super natural, and she's like really into her performance. She's like
just a natural.
Just and like her facial expressions are so good, but she's like really committed to making sure her delivery on our little baby film is like her best.
That's awesome.
I think it's great.
They were going so in that the extra scene that we shot, like they were actually using like Google Translate because we were going to do it in Russian because they were back home, and it was funny, but it didn't translate, I guess. Yeah, it was like Russian with a southern accent. It was weird and kind of French. So yeah.
That's just Creole at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
But she does say.
Yeah, she tells.
In the tell-off scene where she like leaves, that is Russian for "go fuck yourself" or something.
I love
she
that.
was like watching videos of like Russians speaking, and she's like, "Oh, they do their letters like this." Like we were like, "Just fake it." She's like, "No, I have to be."
Yeah,
as authentic as possible.
My direction was like, "Have you ever seen Glow? You know how the girl in Glow does the Russian character? Do that voice." And she's like, "I've never seen that." So she's like watching
Dora the Destroyer.
Oh,
yeah. So she's like watching actual videos, and she'd be like, "That's an article. They don't use articles." And I'm like, "Just say it. That's Sarah." But no, I mean it was cool. And Jay is just one of those people that, again, she's known forever, and she was just able to do the film, so we were able to.
That's awesome.
For the role because our other person canceled on us like the night before we were gonna shoot. So
that's like a classic film sprint tradition. People canceling at the last minute. Dana knows about that one, going back to the Dream Team days.
Yeah, flaking
when you have somebody write a bad script to begin with, you tend to lose actors fast.
I mean, that was a rough script. I do love to talk about it because it's like I don't understand.
Please do. Inform the rest
talk about
of them.
it.
It was a terrible story.
I'll tell you guys the story because I don't think Holden has heard the story. I don't think the eFilms Pro kids. I don't think Lacey. Can they hear me talking right now? Great. Good then. So basically, I can't hear you, but that's okay. Basically,
yeah.
So
tell them the earmuffs.
Yeah, this is an earmuff story. So basically, the Santa Rosa Dream Team was like the biggest team we'd ever had in the film sprint. It was like 16 people on this crew, and 3 of them were actors. The rest were all only there in a technical capacity. Did not appear on screen. And the original cast was 2 male actors and a female actor, and the premise was essentially that she was a sex robot, and one of the guys in the opening scene of the film is essentially like calibrating her, for want of a better term, BJ CPU. So there's like it's like I went over to, I used to do this when we had in-person shit. I went to all the sets to film behind the scenes footage during the rounds, just get some B-roll, and they had a copy of the original script on hand, and it was like very graphically descriptive in the beginning of like what was happening, what we're seeing, what we're hearing. This woman is adjusted with a screwdriver in the first 2 minutes of the film to be better at like pleasure delivery. And shockingly, the morning of, the woman was like, "I'm not going to do that." Like, they wrote it Friday night, Saturday morning. She's like, "No, I'm not going to be a blowjob robot in a short film for no good reason."
Was it supposed to be like social commentary? I'm so sorry.
If the social commentary was that women are objects, then yes. But
I think that's just how the writer writes.
She didn't get a payoff. She didn't kill them all in the end or something, like Ex Machina style. Like she just pleasure bots 5,000. Yeah, and so she was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't really want to do that. Which more power to her. And then hilariously, I showed up, and some of Dana's, not Dana. Dana was Dana was on 2 teams that round too, by the way, because Dana was on the Dream Team, and then he was also his own 1-person team. What was you were called OMG, 1-man group, right?
The 1-man gang. But...
Yeah, 1-man gang / 1-man group, and then Dana won Audience Choice that round with an amazing submission where you did a film noir where you were the only actor, and it was fantastic. But yeah, I was on set for they rewrote the movie, and it ended up winning Best Film, the one that they wrote. But everybody on the set, even though it was hours later, was still mad at her. I was like, guys, come on. It wasn't everybody, but everybody who I spoke to had an opinion. The opinion was not cool of her. I was like, how come feedback isn't a part of this process? You got to write something that people want to actually do. If I just wrote a movie that was fucking called Jason Vikovich punches himself in the dick 100 times, I mean, it'd be a tough sell. I mean, Jason might do
I'll make it.
Jason's game like that.
Jason will do it.
All right, fair enough.
You're right. For added context, the guy that wrote that film directed Rock in the film Sprint.
That's right. Was that who wrote that? Okay. Was that Pettis? Is that who directed that? Or was that Menard directed that?
Jared Wright directed.
Oh, Jared, of course. I just forget about Jared.
David just edited.
Yeah. Rock was interesting because it was so short. It was 5 to 15 minutes, and they were like, 5:23. That's about the runtime for this. All right, more power to him. But gosh, we're gonna keep doing these rounds. Is there anything else you guys would? I just want to ask, since I have y'all here and y'all are kind of in this headspace right now. Any other things you'd like to see? Things you'd like to see different? Things you'd like to see just added on? Things you would not like to see anymore? The
collaboration was really fun. I liked creating a makeup town. Nolanville was a blast. So.
Who came up with the name Nolanville?
I like the
Dana was proud of that one. I remember how
I like the name.
Right? Wasn't that the idea?
Yeah, it's all Nolan Void.
Yeah.
The town of nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
I like when you did that one time. I know you did it with the rom-com. You did some helpful tips and tricks and everything. Maybe also do that for some shooting help and stuff. I know we could always YouTube it and stuff, but
we're definitely going to do more of that. I mean, I thought, y'all really seemed to get a lot out of the romantic comedy structure one that we did this round. It really showed, and I really appreciated personally. It was really gratifying to me as the organizer of all this when I went into the character breakout room, and y'all were talking about the discussion that we'd had about different rom-com tropes, and the discussion that the character that you used should maybe meet one of those tropes, which is how you ended up with Dina as the mom for everybody, which I thought was such a great connection. And that she even played her own mother, I thought was so funny and consistent across all your films. It was just, it made me really excited that had been worthwhile. And, I did a half-hour version of one when we did Anything But Cameras. That was just kind of tips and tricks for mobile-based filmmaking, which we're definitely going to keep doing stuff like that. We did a little bit of a deep dive in the horror round. That was a fun project that we had as much stuff as we did for the Fright Sprint. The stuff that we didn't get to, that we also still wanted to do, there was probably 5 or 6 whole events that we're going to try to find new ways to reincorporate or do moving forward. I love doing watch-alongs. We're going to have to see what that's going to look like moving forward. But they're so much fun to put on, and of course, I'll be sending out more invites to everybody if you just want to come on and watch stuff. The other thing that that I want to bring back that I don't think I've done since Holden and Chad have really been a big part of it is a Twitch show I did once called Amateur Hour. I did it twice, but only once while it was called Amateur Hour. And the premise is that we bring people on to watch stuff they made while they were, like, before they ever got paid to do video. You bring on some of your early stuff and we watch it together. The first one I did was actually just like a total reference from a random person that was this actress named Ellie Ariza, and she brought on a one-woman show that she had done when she was 23. It was like a full half-hour long, one-act, one-woman show about her life as a 22-year-old woman. And like all her life story, all of her experiences. And it was really like, I just thought it was such a bold choice to even attempt to do like a long form thing about like, here's what I've learned as a person in my early 20s. You guys are going to want to hear this. But then the one she did, she like pulled it off and she had a good audience, and it was fun because I just basically, the video, if you're watching at home, is like the thing we're watching, and then next to it is just her watching it back, having not seen it in maybe 10 years. And then, like live chat that we were featuring as it comes. So it's a really fun process that we like to do. So if any of you have anything like that you'd like to bring on and just like watch and talk about. Oh, Holden's got his hand up.
Sign me up.
All right, we'll talk.
I mean, I have so much bad stuff that I made in college and grad school that I think would be.
I love that confidence. I know I have some bad stuff. So
yeah.
I sent you and Demi my 2 videos.
Oh my god, that's right.
Which ones did you send them?
Have you not seen
You
them?
are amazing.
Yeah, that one.
It didn't even occur to me until we finished that I was going to show Amanda Dalton's little Christmas film, and we never did. But you guys should check that out. I could put it up here if I wanted to here on the Twitch stream. Is anybody still watching? How are we doing on viewers here? We still got some folks. We haven't had a comment in a little while. We haven't had a comment since the discussion about the improv approach, but yet we still have 5 viewers in the Twitch stream. So thanks for sticking around with us.
And people are watching us right now?
Yeah, just a couple. Just a little.
I thought it was just us.
Oh no, it's you, me, and like 3 people who
okay.
who are watching, who were like active commenters and cheerleaders of the process.
One of the things that I really like about this kind of touches on the collaborative aspect that Pamela was talking about. And, again, I'm always throwing ideas and stuff out and talking to her about, like, you hear so much from, YouTubers that make tons of money doing what they do at that level, and professional filmmakers, but you don't really get a lot of spotlight on people that aren't really, that aren't necessarily making a living at doing this stuff. We're doing it because it's just something we love to do. So it's cool to like meet and talk to people, like Holden and Pamela and Jason and Dana, and, just to have the conversations, like what their process is, when they go to write something like, Letters to Nowhere or whatever, and, what kind of gear they're using and what they find best to handle this problem, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because we don't have a community like at all where we are. So finding this has been like really encouraging, because there's just, we're in Southwest Georgia, and there's just, if there's not something in it for them, it's hard to find people that are as passionate. So it's been really encouraging to see people that are doing the same thing and enjoying the same stuff and really talented and just making stuff in their house.
Well, you know how to find us now. I guess we're family. So hi, brother and sister.
We're definitely gonna
go. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
go ahead.
Jeremy.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was going to say, in the film, we just coincidentally, at one point, my character says my mom's a total nutcase. And when I saw all the films, I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if we were just all siblings? And it's like, love stories from all different family
the disparate
members.
children of Dina.
Yes.
Sorry, Joanna.
Yeah.
I was laughing when it said Nolanville, population 8,000. I'm like,
You like that?
Oh, more like 800.
I just thought it was such a fun one. I mean, really, you know what? It wasn't until like the fourth or fifth watch that I realized where you got that shot of that's probably the second shot of your film, Dana, that's like out your window with like the Amy's and the highway and all that stuff at night. I was like, oh, I know exactly where that was shot from. Goals for 2021. We have a Discord that we've never really used. So if any of you use Discord, that's a place we're going to have a discussion community if you're interested in it. I'm going to make a Facebook group just for the filmmakers, like a filmmakers lounge kind of a chat group. If folks want to just be in touch or reach out and see who wants to pair up for an upcoming round, that'll be a good place for those kind of discussions to take place. And we're going to keep looking into other ways to just get together and do more cool stuff. We're definitely going to get back into doing, especially for the next month or so, because we don't have any events planned until mid-February. We're going to get back into playing like Jackbox on weekend nights if anybody wants to come join, because, you know, socializing's at a premium. We'll have kind of fun just get-togethers and goof around, Zoom calls like this. Some of them will be up on Twitch, some of them won't. You know, but it's just kind of
maybe
just
sometimes I don't have to be on mute all the time because of my kids. It'd be great.
Oh, fair enough.
We can
join in the conversation.
Yeah.
All of our film bloopers are actually just our toddler screaming, "What's Daddy doing?" Like, every scene we filmed, he was there somewhere screaming.
That's so funny.
Pantsless.
And with no pants.
I don't know why, but just a pantsless 2-year-old running, you know.
Honestly, I feel like any point you might want to make, if you take your pants off, people will probably at least hear you a little longer. They'll be like, what is this guy yelling about? Why is this guy pantsless? Maybe his question will inform me, but no, not so much. I'm
we should
pretty
do like
good.
A conference where we all get together one day, have workshops.
Love that idea. We'll definitely do something like that. I want to also, this was a suggestion that's been suggested by many filmmakers, which is to do an East Coast versus West Coast round. To do like all the Georgia, New York, Florida contingent versus the like California / Reno, Nevada, when Allie's in Reno contingent.
Who's where?
So we got y'all and Dina in Georgia. We had a team called Floridius 4 that, the team was called Rat Riot, and they made a film called Floridius 4 that was in the early homebound rounds. We had a guy named Shelton Lindsay out of New York who is full on one of the weirdest dudes who's ever submitted. He honestly, like, he makes Jason look like Loki. Like, I don't know what else.
I was gonna say, I thought Jason was the weird one.
No, I mean Jason's like the weird one who's within parameters, and Shelton was like way off the reservation, just like the silliest, weirdest film. Didn't he say? Oh, he did. His film, his genre was mockumentary, and instead of doing that, he made a like 5-minute. It was like a real estate video that was interrupted by a music video. Like, it was him selling.
Was it a mockumentary or musical or something?
It was mockumentary, and I don't know if it was musical, but it was like mockumentary and something. And in the middle, it became like him rapping with no music. It was him just a cappella verse, and it's him in like a Speedo and a long, colorful robe, and he's just like doing all kinds of weird stuff, and it was spectacular.
What you're describing at this point.
You can't picture it?
I can't.
I mean, we can watch it, but I mean, Shelton Lindsay. His name is Shelton Lindsay, but his team name was Shelton Whimsy. So that'll give you a little.
So we have the weird guy and Deming. That's what we got on the East Coast.
The weird guy and Deming. That's actually Deming's in my sitcom that's in the works. True story. The first time we did a watch along, somebody commented that Deming and I look like the hot girl and the schlubby husband in a sitcom. I was very hurt by that remark. I'm the Kevin James and she's the Leah Remini. Like, okay.
You threw out the TV show thing. I think that's a cool idea. The TV show.
Honestly, I'd love to do a TV show themed like procedurals or like, I mean, just the genres of television. You know, to see somebody have to draw like a reality documentary or a police procedural, medical drama, you know, straight up like nerdy romance, soap opera, MTV True Life. Like, there's lots of ways you could do a TV. I think a TV theme round is a great idea, probably for the second half of next year. Might be the one we do before Fright Sprint. Because I think that might have to be like a yearly staple to keep doing horror, because it's just like, it's so fun, and just, I mean, we got 14 teams signed up for that round, which is far and away a record for this. The closest was, I think we got 8 or 9 signed up for the documentary round we did last year, Doc Sprint. That was a great round. I think that was Holden. Was that your first exposure to this here shindig?
I came in with Viral Media.
That's right, Viral Media Network. You guys, I mean, speaking of like the all-time films getting jobbed out, I mean, it was one of those rounds where we sat back and I couldn't believe you guys hadn't won anything, because it was such a fun submission. But that was like, you know, the other thing about this is, you know, I'm at most usually a fifth of the vote. If not less. So it's very common for me to be wrong about what's. I didn't think like in 2019, Dana, I didn't vote for the Dream Team. I voted for Will Carruthers' team as my favorite film of that round, because I thought Rachel was such a strong performer. But you guys should check that one out too. These are all on the website. In 2019, there's a film called, what was it called? Oh God, Underdog. And it was about this woman whose whole gimmick was that she was an athlete. They got sports film, and she just was like, I'm an athlete. She didn't have a sport. She just would do sports things. Like, there was a montage of her, like, she was like holding weights, and she like hand weights, and she was moving them like this. And she was like kicking a ball and then like hitting a ball with like she was hitting like a soccer ball with a tennis racket. There's a moment where she full on eats a raw egg. Like, puts a full, uncracked raw egg in her mouth and, like, bites down on it. It's so ridiculous.
That begs the question, Jeremy. You know you should do, since it's the end of the year and you've had so many films this year.
Yes.
I'm surprised the Film Sprint doesn't do a top 10 Film Sprint films.
Ooh, the year's not over yet, buddy. That might be what I work on this week. Maybe we'll do a surprise. You know,
it's over in like 4 days.
Doing a top 10 is real easy. You just pick them and then you air them, and you know the workload for me is pretty low. I might make graphics. True story.
We got 5 days. We have a chance to make an end of the year.
I'm just saying, when we went up. Oh my God, no, thank you. When we went up, I think I could speak for everybody on that. When we went up on the broadcast tonight, I had not yet made the awards graphics. It was a real push to just get finished with everything on this round. The film this was the most complicated project to finish for me, to get this edited together, obviously. And there was a lot of like last minute swapping of order of things. Like, does this moment lead well into this next moment and things like that. One of my favorites was, I think it was, I can't remember what it was, like the scene where Allie was like whistling to herself because she was happy. And it was preceded by a scene where that same, I think it was Holden's montage maybe, that had like this cheerful music to it where you guys were like playing ball.
Yeah, can we talk about the musical choice? Because I'm a little upset about that. Like, you cut out my...
We did cut out some music from some people. I do want to accept all your derision and complaints for that. That's on me. There were points where, you know, like this, that was by far the biggest challenge of putting it together, was like bridging from one scene to another with music. Connor, who teamed up with Jason on The Pill, came in and did some extra like little stingers and music bits and stuff like that were sort of meant to be bridgy bits, but unfortunately due to time we didn't have a lot of time to like develop out what music should go where and get a lot of samples. So unfortunately a lot of the time what I had to do was like pick the diegetic music from the adjacent film and bridge them, rather than try to just straight dissolve from one person's like baked in music to the other person's baked in music, because so often they would clash, or because they had dialogue that like accompanied the music. So it was that was for me, that, and then cutting up the first scene of Dina, where it had originally just been 2 long unbroken shots, to cut them together so that they felt more like a conversation. That was the first moment for me where I felt like, okay, I'm kind of breaking the seal here, as far as like not just straight up presenting chapters of the films in order. And so once I did that, I felt like, well, if I'm going to do it here, I might as well continue with the process and try to make it, try to focus on flow, so that maybe all the films can lift each other up a little more, which I hope that they did. But I definitely felt like. What's that?
I was going to say that's the greatest analogy for having to pee I've ever heard.
That's what I'm all about. Ultimately, like I was actually going to check in with you about that, Holden, because yours and Dina's were the two teams that got their soundtracks most disrespected by that process, unfortunately. And I do feel badly about that. And I'm glad to say that all of the films will still be posted in their like original, unbroken, unmixed together forms. Like when on Top Chef, when someone does like, oh, I did a deconstructed French toast, and it's just like custard and bread. That's what we're gonna do. So we'll have those still up for everybody as in the same like YouTube playlist as the film. Those should hopefully all be up no later than like end of day tomorrow. But I just, that was a tough. Those were tough decisions for me, honestly. Like, and I was up like, I think I went to bed at 3:30 last night, and woke up at 8, and was like, all right, let's finish off the finishing touches here, because it was just like the process of finishing this and deciding what goes where was really agonizing. Like it felt like there was a few things that felt like they should probably go in specific orders, like. Putting Shelter in Lace first in the whole process made sense to me because of the pace and the timing. And we also tried to respect time throughout the movie. Like, we tried to put daytime scenes next to daytime scenes. And if we didn't, to show a transition from day to night in some B-roll to kind of like bridge those gaps. So we wanted to be like all the daytime stuff, and then it moves into the evening. So it still feels like it's all... Try to just make all those decisions to try to make the film stay coherent. So,
you just needed blocks and books. That's it.
That's it. Just should have got blocks and books from everybody.
Light something really pretty and blocks and books. That's it.
I did that as our transitions. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope this does not fuck everything up for everybody, because
it was tough. That was a tough thing.
That actually would have been amazing. Where if you said, okay, your transitions are. Yeah, blocks and books, and then everyone's like, you have to like get this in there somehow. You have to write down,
just represent a calendar counting down these days.
Yes,
that'd be interesting. But I think it flowed really well because, the one thing that I was toying with that I ultimately was like, this would be so destructive and stupid that I can't do it. Was I thought it might be fun to do a montage of everyone's montages, like. To montage all the montages together, so we're cutting between each montage.
Me just walking around sad.
Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't have worked because it would have just been such a mess. But honestly, like, shout outs to among my favorite montage shots were Lacey and Dana doing like aerobics together or yoga. And then I don't know that anything made me laugh as hard as when Rindy holds up the card and it just says Xmas in Sharpie.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's her favorite
paper. It's so funny. Oh, gets me. I edited the film, and it makes me laugh every time I see it.
Her face every time.
And every time Jason dunks the Oreo makes me laugh.
That's awesome.
Every fucking time I've seen it probably 30 times right now, and every time. If it was like a GIF on my phone, I would watch it for 2 hours. Like, it's so funny. He just unrelentingly, he tries to punch the bottom of the jar out through the counter. Oh, loved it.
You really got in there.
Loved it.
Yeah. I went up to Dana and I was like, I have an idea. And Dana was like, okay.
I think that's how my career in the film sprint started. Jason walked up to me and said, I have an idea.
No, actually, Dana, your career.
But we can't waste milk.
Because I called you and was like, you guys got to do this. And then you did one with Casey, and you were like, I'm going to try another partner, and this partner is going to be me, Dana, all by myself.
I'm never satisfied with my own films, so I just keep trying to make them worse. But the Oreo dunk will return. I think it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
You're going to get it it's going to end with like a wading pool full of 2% milk, isn't it?
Yeah. The next one will be into like a gallon jug of milk that's like have the tops cut off of it.
I want Jason in a huge Oreo costume, just belly flopping into a kiddie pool.
Personally.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, put Jason in an Oreo costume and then have a crane pick him up and like drop him into a reservoir.
I do have a friend that has a crane.
I was gonna say, I know you can get access to a helicopter, so just do that. Just get into a helicopter, push Jason out at a low altitude. Probably warn him, maybe not if you want the cool Hans Gruber shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Guys, this was such a fun one, and y'all are amazing. Truly, like, I'm so excited to have every single one of you contributing to the film sprint. However much longer you want to continue, please keep coming back whenever you feel like it, when you have energy. We don't. These are tough events, and I don't want people to like burn themselves out trying to do it. We're trying to space them out for that reason. So we're going to give people like 6+ weeks of recovery time between each of these rounds moving forward. I'm going to give myself 2 weeks for each round to present, to make sure we don't have things fall through the cracks like happened with Fright Sprint and some other rounds. Because like Fright Sprint was crazy for me because like the round ended and then the presentation of everything was 6 days later. I was like, this is a lot, and it was 13 films. I had to make slates and all, like motion graphics. I mean, I didn't have to. I just decided I was going to, and did a lot of work that nobody like needed or maybe even cared about. But it's all about adding stuff. So this is so much fun for me. And as somebody who, on a personal note, kind of is between industries at the moment, because I don't know if y'all know, I work in live sports. I know that Holden knows that's how I know Sam. But I worked for the A's and the Giants, Sharks, all the live sporting events out here, and none of them are happening anymore, and likely will not be happening for some time. And I heard recently that some of the local networks are going to be like, ooh, now that you're not doing this right now, we're going to like reorganize this so that we don't include your positions into our expense calculations in the future. So as somebody who's between whole entire professional universes right now, this and things like this are something that I really want to be able to continue doing moving forward. I want to figure out ways to do offer like courses, 6-week sort of intensives where we'll get into a specific process, like get into shooting to edit, produce, shooting with the producer's mind and eye for things, making sure you get the coverage without overwhelming the editor, things like that. Trying to just figure out where those balances are struck, and maybe just have exercises that can help reinforce those things. Those will probably be things we'll be doing moving forward. It's like definitely, the educational and development parts of Film Sprint are important and things that we want to continue to have moving forward. So I love you guys so much. We've been on this call together for almost 2 hours celebrating how amazing all your work was. So I'm going to let everybody go and just say, I really just thank you all so much, truly. Bottom of my heart, here at the end of this insane year, I just feel like, I don't know about y'all, but I've gotten to do a lot of things that I didn't know I was going to get to do this year. And a lot of it is because of all your contributions and all the amazing work that you've all done. I'm truly grateful. Would not be able to do this if people weren't interested and excited about it. So, I see Holden's got a finger up.
I have one more thing. I don't know that I'm going to be able to completely do my own films next year. But if anybody wants an editor, I would love to help out with editing. And I can doing shot lists and things of like that nature that, to Jeremy's point, that make it easier and just put it together. So
thank you. We're definitely gonna make also on my list is just resources to make sure people who are interested can get in touch in advance rather than us just pairing you like day of, which has worked out medium. We've had whole teams just bail on us and leave like the 1 or 2 guys who are left like stuck, like Holden. So I want to, Holden, you are such a trooper, and like I just really appreciate your attitude about this whole process.
The whole thing is fun. So,
that's the hope, is that it's just a growth experience. If there were, I'm also open to doing a round or 2 of this that's just inherently non-competitive, just as a challenge. Because I like the competitive framework. I think it helps push people to try to find ideas and stuff they might not otherwise find. But, I think ultimately the real goal is to just develop and make something cool. I hope you guys all have stuff that you can put on your various reels that you may not have had before, things that are representative of different, approaches or styles you might not have undertaken. And just that you've enjoyed this. That's more than anything, because I'm just so grateful for all your contributions. So just, thank you all. Thank you, Snub This. Thank you, 411. Thank you, eFilms Pro. Thank you, Shelter and Lace. Thanks, big ups to Old Soul, killing it in absentia. And just, please keep doing stuff because y'all are amazing. Your contributions are so welcome. Lacey, I'm gonna let you get back to your kids. Jason, I'm gonna let you get back to your dog, and everybody else just to your respective evenings. Thanks all again, and we'll hopefully see you with some more great stuff in 2021. So we're signing off for 2020. Good night,